What's going on? This is Big G from G Riders, and welcome to another episode of Testing Rides. Today, I'm going to be testing out the 2020 Audi S5 Sportback Premium Plus. Welcome to the 2020 Audi S5. The second generation of the Audi S5 is an update year for the Audi S5. So, the second generation of the Audi S5 went away from the supercharged V6 and for a turbocharged V6. And the turbocharged V6 is pretty cool because it has a lot more torque than the supercharged one. So, for the 2020 model year, this is a facelift version, and we'll talk about more of those differences when we do the walk around of the vehicle. So this is the 2020 Audi S5 Sportback, and all S5s come standard with the 3-liter V6 turbocharged engine, making 350 horsepower and 369 foot-pounds of torque. Even though it's a 4,000-pound luxury sports sedan, it does manage to get 20 in the city, 27 on the highway, which again isn't bad for a car that can go 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. So the Audi S5 starts at about $51,000 for the base model, but this is the Premium Plus, so this is the mid-range model, so it comes standard with stuff like keyless access, the power folding mirrors, the digital cockpit, virtual cockpit, and a couple other things. But since this one is a Premium Plus, this one is about $55,000, and this particular car has no additional options on it. So this is the $55,000 model that you'll get if you go and ask for a basic Premium Plus version of the Audi S5. Honestly though, I think this car is priced very well because the way this car looks from the interior and exterior, it looks like more like a $60,000 or $70,000 car. All right, let's go ahead and take a look around the vehicle to kind of look at some differences between this model and the old one. So first of all, let's look at the front. So for the 2020 model year, the front bumper and the grille and the headlights are redesigned. So it's a different Audi, it's a different design for the headlights. So now they have sequential turn signals in the front and the rear. So if I hit the unlock button there, as you can see, it's sequential. The grille is a little bit bigger. And honestly, I think they made this car look more like the RS5s. I think that was a good thing because this car, I think the old S5 looked a little bit too understated, but this one looks pretty mean and aggressive. Walk around the side there, you got your 18-inch wheels. So this one has like the stock wheels, so it doesn't have any other, like I said, it doesn't have any option packages. So this is just the stock wheels, and honestly, I really like the stock wheels on this one. Coming on to the back, the taillights are very different too. So the taillights are just going with Audi's new design language when it comes to the headlights and taillights. I'll go ahead and flash those a little bit for you so you can see what they look like. They look good, and I'll put up a clip of both the front and the rear of the 2019 A5 Sportback that I reviewed last year, so you guys can kind of see the differences. And because it's an S model, it does have the quad exhaust. I think that looks really good. And also, kind of cool, it has the foot activated tailgate thing. So I'll come up to it, kick underneath, it opens up. And then come again, kick underneath again. It closes. And also, like, because this is an S model, it does have the silver accenting, the matte chrome accenting all over the place. And actually, I really like it. I thought I was always going to be the one to want to option like I thought I was always be the one to option the black optics package, but I think I really like this like brushed silver stuff all over the car, especially with the white and the black. But I'm sure if you get like a color like blue or red or something else like that, you'll want to opt for that black optics package. But I think without it, this looks good. So let's go ahead and take a look at the interior. Go ahead and take a look around the interior of the 2020 Audi S5. So since this is a higher model of the Audi S5, it does have the comfort access. You just hit the button to lock, mirrors fold up. That's probably one of my favorite features on kind of luxury vehicles. I'm glad they're making their way to regular vehicles now. So to unlock, just go ahead and grab the door handle. And look at that. Oh my gosh. So this has the Alcantara and leather combination interior, and it looks really awesome. So you got some nice Alcantara right there on the doors. And then you got some nice Alcantara right there. On the seats, it has the Audi S, the sport seats, which look pretty awesome. Oh my goodness, I love the way these seats look. And honestly, it's my first experience with an S product, so it's kind of nice to kind of see what they feel like. All right, let's go ahead and hop in. So the interior is pretty similar to the one that I replaced, except now it has a bigger infotainment screen here, and it has an updated Audi MMI system. And now the scrolling wheel is gone, and now it's all touchscreen. So it's a nice spot right here for you to put your phone or whatever you may have. So this one does have the digital cockpit. So let me go ahead and fire it up. So looking in the instrument cluster here, the instrument cluster has been a little bit updated for the 2020 model year. So this is the same kind of similar one. You can have your same old gauges as you had before, but as you can see there, it has kind of the new Audi Sport style gauges, which look pretty good. I like the layout. I like the L-shaped tachometer and the speedometer digital in the middle, but I prefer to either look at this one and hit the press the view button, so I'll get all this information here. I like this one better, and then typically when I have like some music playing, it shows me the album art there, and it has speedometer and the tachometer on the side and the gas gauge and all that stuff. I think that looks pretty good. Also, as you can see now, the screen is a little bit bigger than it was before, and it has the updated MMI system that has all the controls. This car has massaging seats, which I think is pretty cool. So that's just kind of in the pack. That's why it's a mid-range model, $55,000. It comes with a lot of that good stuff. So over here is pretty much the same as it was before, and then you can get a closer look at those diamond stitched S seats. I think they look pretty awesome. And then of course you got your panoramic sunroof up above, and then yeah, it's pretty much the same old Audi A5 interior. This is still kind of the older generation of the Audi interiors, and honestly I don't think they're bad. I think they're good interiors. But I have driven the new Q7, and I love the new double screen type of thing that they are doing now, similar to like what the Range Rover does and other vehicles like that. So that's kind of cool, but for the most part it's the same interior. It just looks a little bit more modern. Really the differences come from the outside, the front and the rear of the car. But with that said, let's go ahead and head out on the road and see how it drives. Let's go ahead and get a quick launch control on this thing real quick before we head out. Oh my God. And that's 60. Wow, that was quick. All right. Welcome to the 2020 Audi S5 Sportback. The first thing you gotta do is hammer the throttle. So this car has 349 horsepower and 369 foot-pounds of torque. So really this car has 350 horsepower and 375 foot-pounds of torque. And I'll tell you what, this thing is really fast. So I don't know if, you know, maybe that's the to the wheels number, but it feels pretty quick than the number suggests. Like 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, that's pretty damn quick. All-wheel drive, the Quattro is really oh man, this thing is quick. That's the first thing that I really noticed from driving this car. Second thing, this interior is really nice. So this one has the Alcantara. This one has the Alcantara and leather combination leather, and I think it looks really, really nice. So like everything is really nice to touch when you feel. Like the steering wheel has a nice feel to it. Everything just feels really nice in this car. It feels like an interior of a nicer car. The Audi virtual cockpit works really well. This one doesn't have the navigation on it or anything like that, but it still works really well. It's pretty quick, pretty responsive. Like I've driven other vehicles before that don't really have responsive digital displays like that, but this one does, so I think that's pretty awesome. So as I'm sitting here at the light, you know, I'm just kind of look through a couple things in the interior here. Like there's really nothing in the interior that I don't like. I think everything in the interior is really nice. Only thing that I find annoying is start stop, and you kind of can't get away from that because all cars have start stop nowadays. But you know, it's really comfortable. Like you guys know, I'm a big dude, over 6 feet tall, over 350 pounds, and these seats are very comfortable. And what the massaging feature works very well. The seats heat up really nicely. I know that's one of those things that, you know, you're like, why the hell are you talking about that? But that's just important. Those are some of the important things, like some of the basic functions of the car. I have to just confirm that it works really well. So, what are some things I don't like about the car? Well, the fact is, I don't like the steering in the car. The steering is very numb and very kind of lifeless. And, you know, I think that Audi needs to figure out some better tuning with their steering. Like I haven't driven like the newest generation of Audi products, but I have driven lots of these ones, and the steering is not very good. Like it reminds me of the steering that is found like in the new GTIs, and like the Mark 7 and a half GTIs. Like I drove that car a while ago, and I just didn't like the steering, and it honestly doesn't feel much different than the steering that you get in a regular A5 Sportback. So I think that, you know, if we're gonna be doing like an S model, and you know, I would hope like something like the RS5 Sportback or Coupe or whatever, which one will have better steering than this, but it's kind of not great. But it's all's forgiven when you floor it. All's forgiven when you floor it, and that happens. Oh my gosh, let me pass by this family that's walking. All's forgiven when you put your foot down and smash that throttle. The suspension is really nice, actually. You know, this is kind of a sportier car, so I would expect this car to have some kind of stiffer suspension, and it does, but it's not so stiff that it's uncomfortable. And I love when sportier cars figure out how to tune the suspension like that. Even in this car's dynamic mode, this car is still a pretty comfortable car to drive. Yes, you go over some bumps sometimes, and it's a bit hard, but it's not uncomfortable, which is really nice. The paddle shifters they work really well, except sometimes when you downshift, sometimes if you leave your finger there a little too long, because when you hold the paddle shifters, it drops you to basically the lowest gear that you could be in, and sometimes it does it when you don't. It does it kind of unnaturally, kind of when you're not really wanting it to do that. And I think they should tune the paddle shifters a little bit differently so it doesn't do that anymore. Just because it can be a little bit annoying. It can be a little bit annoying, and you know, especially if you're doing some spirited driving, and you do that, dropping too many gears can kind of disrupt the car's handling. So I want them to kind of make sure this camera's looking okay. I would want them to kind of fix that a little bit more. But besides that, it's a really great car. You know, there are, like I was talking about before, there are small things that I don't like about the car, just of this being an A5 Sportback. This is like one of those four-door coupe type of things, and you know, I think that the whole concept of that is pretty cool, but some of the execution things aren't that great. Just like for me personally, like you guys know, I'm a tall guy and I'm a big dude, and I don't have that much headroom. Thank God for the sunroof, because if there was no sunroof, my head probably be touching the top a little bit, and it'd feel like I'm driving a cave. But because of that, it doesn't feel like that. because of that, it doesn't feel like it feels like I'm driving a cave. And you know, I think this is a very great car. Like, Audi did a great job with this car. Like, it feels like way more special than a standard A5 does. Like, you know, initially it's like $10,000 more and 100 more horsepower. So it definitely should feel a lot more special than that. I think that the Audi S5 Sportback is kind of a good medium, because it's fast, but it's quick, but not too quick, and it's not cheap, but it's not 75 grand like the RS5 Sportback. I mean, I guess I'll have to try to get my hands on one of those at some point. But for just the way this one is, I think I really like this S of this Audi. It's a very good car. It's a fun car to drive. It's very comfortable. It looks excellent on the outside and interior. Oh my goodness. Let's talk about the way the exterior looks of this car. It is so mean and so aggressive and so sleek. It's just classic, typical Audi. And when you buy an Audi, that's what you want out of your design. So I'm very glad that Audi delivered on that, especially with no front license plate. This Audi is a great car inside and out. Like, if you're looking for a car like this is definitely the car for you. You know, I know BMW has the 4 Series Grand Coupe, and I know the new one's going to be coming out very, very soon. And Mercedes doesn't have a vehicle like this, but I'm sure they'll get one at some point. I don't think they have one at all, because I mean, they'll have to make like a C-Class, something like this, but I think they only make a C-Class wagon, which we don't get in the US, which is annoying. But you know, the vehicles like this, that's kind of the 4-door coupe with the hatchback type of situation, it makes for a very practical car, because it looks better, and it looks better than like a standard S4 or something like that, and you still have extra practicality with having that hatch instead of a trunk, which I really like. Yes, the numbers are actually decently comparable between the hatch and the trunk, but the fact that you have a hatch, you can just drop the seats and make it way, and you can put way more stuff back there, which is pretty nice. And I think that's what the kind of appeal of a hatch versus like a sedan would be. Plus, it doesn't look that much like a hatch, so it kind of does look like a sedan. So it kind of makes it so you can get best of both worlds. And I feel like this is kind of a little bit of a rant or a sidebar. Is I think that instead of cutting a bunch of sedans, they should have made all sedans like this before they decided to get rid of them altogether. But that's just me. But for the most part, this Audi looks good inside and out. It's fun to drive. It feels high quality. It feels high class. It's a very solid car, and I really highly recommend it if you are looking at a vehicle like this. So if you're looking for a fun to drive, great looking, pretty dang quick, and actually relatively efficient for the speed and horsepower, you should definitely take a look at the 2020 Audi S5. Whether you're looking at a base model or a prestige model, they're all great. Take a look at one. Then if you like this video, hit me with a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Keep riding me. Thanks for watching.